Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, FA Well Centers. I'm going to talk to you today about how it's probably not your thyroid. So many people come in and they say, oh my gosh, you got to help my thyroid. I've been on thyroid medication. I can't lose weight. My hair's falling out. I looked up online, all these different symptoms, and it says it's my thyroid. My doctor says it's my thyroid. But guess what? I'm going to show you probably 75%, if not more, of the people that we see, it is not the thyroid itself that's the problem. There's a lot of other things that are going on. So for anybody that's dealing with thyroid issues, pop down below what you are dealing with, if you're on medication, what you're doing, but also go get out your blood work, get out your last blood work, because there's specific things that I'm going to go over, and I'm going to show you exactly how to tell if it truly is your thyroid or if it's something else. It could be your pituitary, it could be your liver, it could be an autoimmune condition. Lori, can you get off thyroid medication if you're on it? We're going to talk about that today, so stick with me, because I'm going to get into if it truly is your thyroid and your thyroid's attacked and destroyed and it can't function anymore. Maybe not, but for a lot of people, they can lower their thyroid medication, if not even get off of their thyroid medication. So, Lori, thanks for jumping on. Anybody that's on, go ahead and pop down below where you guys are watching. Love to see you all over the country, all over the world, and let me know what questions you have. And if you see a question on there and you have an answer and you have some support, go ahead and give that. This is a great community. We love to support each other and do it in a positive way. So also, if you have not liked or followed this Facebook page already, you can do that. Click that little button. There's also a bell up in the corner that will tell you when we go live. And then if you haven't been on our YouTube channel yet, just go ahead and pop that down below, that link. Get on there. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos just like this one today. Is it really your thyroid or is it not your thyroid? And we can get you that link and then subscribe to that channel as well. So there are three main reasons why somebody may think it's their thyroid, but it's truly not their thyroid. Number one is what's going to be called Hashimoto's. And Hashimoto's is actually what? Anybody know? Anybody know what it truly is? Is it a thyroid condition that we have, a thyroid disease? Or is Hashimoto's actually an autoimmune disease? And so, Jody, good to see you there. Presently on the treatment plan for Hashimoto's and other issues. Yes, you are, Jody. You're doing awesome. Melissa has Hashimoto's T3, T4. All other sex hormones are good except testosterone, 63, TPO, and homocysteine. So, Melissa, put down below your T3 and T4 levels, and I'll let you know if those are good as well. So, Hashimoto's is a huge one that's going to tell us, is this truly an autoimmune condition or is this a thyroid disease? So for a lot of women, and we're looking at even 75 to 80% of women that have hypothyroid, it's actually Hashimoto's. It's actually going to be this state where their body is attacking either the thyroid, and for those of you, subclinical hypothyroidism, Heather, this is something you want to test for. You want to check for Hashimoto's, and you want to see what they're actually doing. And so for a lot of people, Hashimoto's is going to be two types of condition. One is TPO, like we just had somebody comment earlier. TPO is where we're attacking the thyroid itself, and TG, thyroglobulin, is actually attacking transports that T3 and T4 around the body. So here we go. You've got to know which one you have, because if it is Hashimoto's for the thyroid itself, TPO, then you're going to potentially need to be on thyroid medication your whole life, depending on how much thyroid was actually damaged. If it's the thyroglobulin and it's the transportation, then you absolutely, if you get that autoimmune calmed down, you can start coming off those medications. Donna, we've got some Hashimoto's as well. Russell, after COVID, my hair started falling out and diabetes got worse. Absolutely. We see that in a lot of people. This inflammatory state just gets driven up, and we've got to calm down that whole cascade. Donna, TSH at 0.6, 4.5, T3 at 2.6. Yes, so this is a great one to segue into our next one, Donna. So thank you. So Hashimoto's, you have to test for TPO and thyroglobulin antibodies. You have to. If you have a thyroid issue and you have not tested for Hashimoto's, this is what our webinar was a couple weeks ago. If you guys missed that one, we're going to be doing monthly webinars. Make sure you keep an eye out. We'll be sending an email out. And for those of you that are not on our email list, we send out multiple emails a week. Direct message us or pop it down in the comments, and we will get you on our email list, and you will start getting this information. Some of the things that we can't even talk about on social media. So, definitely jump onto that. If we do not have your email yet, get us that email address, and then we will also let you know when we have webinars coming on. Just like Russell there, we will be having this month of May, our hour-long webinar is going to be all about COVID long haul and those symptoms and hair falling out and autoimmune diseases flaring up and all these things. So number 2 is what we call under conversion. So under conversion, just like Donna has here, T4 has to convert into T3. T3 is the active usable form of thyroid, and yet we don't make much of it. Only about 7% of the thyroid hormone that we produce out of our thyroid is actually T3. The rest is T4, and then it has to get converted. That takes place in the liver and the gut primarily. And so what happens is if somebody like your free T4 at 1.08 is actually pretty good, but the T3 the free T3 down at 2.6, it should be, if you're on medication, it should be closer to 3.5. So the T4, Donna, is it's not too high, but it's on the good side of 1.08, 1.1, 1.2 is actually pretty good on the T4, but the T3 is too low. So remember, T4 is levothyroxine, Synthroid. Levothyroxine is the #1 best-selling drug in the world, and it is going to be the T4 thyroid. So all they do in the medical model is to give you more T4 and hope and pray that the T3 is converted from that T4. But here's the problem. 60% of that conversion takes place in the liver, 20% takes place in the gut, which almost every single person that comes in as a patient, they have liver and gut issues. And so there's a very good chance that they're not converting like they need to. So again, this is not a thyroid problem. It's not a thyroid disease. It's an underconversion issue. And somebody may have enough T4, and even just taking more levothyroxine, more Synthroid is not going to help this conversion. So ultimately, we've got to make sure we're converting T4 to T3. You need to rule out Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is not a thyroid disease. It's an autoimmune disease. And the problem with Hashimoto's is that in the vast majority of people, they not only have Hashimoto's, they have other autoimmune conditions. So Donna, you have the tissue labs, thyroid peroxidase, antibodies. Yep, so you've got some Hashimoto's there as well. Patricia, I was taken off my Synthroid by a doctor after my thyroid completely shut down. I was in the hospital for 5 days, but after 3 months of Synthroid, my thyroid was back to normal. So I was taken off of it. A second doctor told me that shouldn't have happened. Probably not. If your thyroid has totally stopped, this is where some people are like, I want to get off thyroid medication. But guess what? If your thyroid has been TPO antibodies, if the autoimmune has attacked it so much that it's not functioning anymore, you are probably going to have to be on thyroid medication the rest of your life. But if it happened because of Hashimoto's, you still have to calm down that autoimmune reaction going on in the body. You can still be attacking other places. My wife, they took out her spleen because she had thrombocytopenia and was attacking her platelets. And they said, take out your spleen, but they didn't fix why she was having autoimmune. So it's taken us years and years and years to get that calmed down. Under conversion, even if you take out somebody's thyroid, even if you your thyroid wivels up and doesn't even function anymore, and you just go on medication, you still have to make sure you're converting. You have to make sure that liver and gut are working as well as they should. Hey, Sarah, good to see you in Santa Fe. Joel, good to see you in Iowa. Melissa, yeah, so the T3, T4, and the TPO. So here's the deal, Melissa, and I'm going to get a little bit more in depth. So guys, stick with me here. So just because your T3 and your T4 say they are an okay level, and you have that much TPO, that's a lot of antibodies. Like in our range, 26, 27, 28 is kind of the max that we want to see, and you're at 1300. So you're destroying more thyroid. You're breaking down that thyroid into T3 and T4, and it's spilling out, and it's showing that you actually have enough. But my guess is that you're probably still in an autoimmune flare right now, and you haven't done what you need to do to actually calm that down. As somebody gets out of that autoimmune flare and they stop destroying as much, a lot of times their T3 and T4 go down, then they may have to actually take some external in there. Donna, on Synthroid, have horrible blurry vision, brain fog, headaches, plus other issues. Don't think Synthroid works. Doctor always changing my dose. Donna, have you checked for Hashimoto's? You need to look at that ratio. The last thing that we look at here is Hypo Pituitary. So Hypo Pituitary is going to be the third thing that we see that is not truly a thyroid condition. So the pituitary gland, the master gland of the body, sits, if you draw a line between these two spots right here, very deep, sits in this little, they call it a saddle, and so it sits in there very protected. It tells the thyroid what to do, it tells the adrenals what to do, as well as the male and female hormonal system what to do. So what we'll see is that jockey that whips the horse, that pituitary, gets tired from the adrenals and chronic stress and having babies and hormonal cycles and all these things, that then the pituitary is not going to tell the body what to do. And so that will look like a low TSH, but then also a low T3 and T4. So if you have low TSH under 1.8 and you're not on medication, and your T3 and T4 are at the low end, that is usually a hypopituitary, and you have to look at your adrenals. You have to look at your blood sugar, because that's the number one stressor to the adrenals. You have to look at your female hormonal system, all those different things, and you've got to correct those. So all three of these, Hashimoto's, you're under conversion, your hypopituitary, all of these are actually not thyroid diseases. These are other things. So Donna, even though you're on Synthroid, you still have the blurry vision, you still have brain fog, you still have headaches, plus other issues. Here's the deal. You finding the magic hormone replacement, you finding the magic thyroid hormone is not going to fix what is going on. All that's going to do is maybe get you some more T4 into the body. If you go on Armor, Nature, maybe you get some T3, but you did not figure out the why. And I guarantee you, just like the doctor's always changing your dose, it's going to continue to happen, because if you don't fix your blood sugar, your gut, your liver, your brain, your inflammation, all these things, your body is going to continue to have more challenges. Kelly, uncomfortable symptoms common while healing the gut liver Hashis. So uncomfortable symptoms depends on what we're talking about. Some people are going to have mild flare-ups. If you're going through like a cleanse and feeling horrible and feeling really bad and lots of symptoms, you're probably not doing the right thing, because that is going to be a major red flag that, okay, you're either pushing too hard, you're doing working on a system that doesn't really need it, it's not ready to be worked on, things like. So I would not say you need to be really uncomfortable and miserable while you're going through healing. My body will not convert T4 to T3. Reason I found Armor, was told it's already converted, worked a short time now, haven't taken anything for over a year. No doctor here wants to test more than TSH, T3, T4, free T4. Yes. So you need to look at your Hashimoto's markers. You need to dig deep. If you're not converting, you need to look at your liver. 60% of that conversion takes place in the liver. 20% takes place in the gut. So check your AST and your ALT, Sarah. Also check your GGT for those liver markers. If you cannot get your doctor to test locally, we can drop ship blood work to anywhere in the country. You go to your local lab, phlebotomist, they draw it, we ship it out, and we get it back in a week, and one of our FA doctors will review that blood work with you. And so we look at other autoimmune markers, Hashimoto's, inflammatory, blood sugar, all types of different things. So we've got to get it figured out what is actually the underlying cause. If I have high TPO antibodies, do I still need to test for thyroglobulin? Absolutely, Judy, because here's the deal. If you have thyroglobulin antibodies as well, which is the, I'm not an artist, which is the bus that takes thyroid hormone around the body. If you have shot out that tire, you can have all the T3 and T4 in the world, but you're not going to get it to your tissues. You're not going to get that to where it needs to actually do the work. And so then you can be like, man, my T3 is at 4. It's not going to get to the tissue. So you need to know which Hashimoto's you actually have. And my TSH was 16 in December while in the hospital for a blood clot in leg and one in my lung. T3, T4 was supposedly in range. I have lupus, but found in 2001, told past childbearing years, no medicine necessary. Interesting on the blood clots. Any history there? We just talked yesterday about the research showing the COVID shots increasing. This was Nature.com article. They were talking about COVID shots increasing blood clot activity. So curious if that was part of it. But yeah, if you have not, Sarah, if you have not tested lately, you need to check your Hashimoto's markers. If you have lupus and you have thyroid issues, odds are you've got some type of Hashimoto's as well. So here's the deal, guys. It's never as simple as just taking a drug and you're going to be fixed, taking a hormone and you're going to be fixed. You need to get to the underlying root cause and come up with a game plan for how you get your health back, how you get your life back. And that is going to be a huge, huge part of this healing process, is take that step back. It is not an outside-in approach. It is not a take more drugs, do more surgeries. It's a give your body inside, top down, the ability to heal. And that is the magic and the miracle of our bodies and how they were designed to be able to function at optimal at all times if you give it the right stuff and do the right things. So, just love seeing you guys, and stay with it. If you've got specific questions on any of these things and you haven't figured it out yet, let me know and I'll give you some feedback on what you need to be doing. Take care, guys. Make it a great day.